Okay, guys, so today in our notes, we're going to talk about lesson 40. And so go ahead and put in your notes, lesson 40. Take notes as we go. Anytime you need to, pause the video so you can make sure we watch it if you have any questions, so you're all up to date with me. Now, we know a square has 4 angles that measure 90 degrees each. So in a square, the 4 angles, we have 90-degree angles. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And so the sum of all 4 angles of a square add up to equal 360 degrees. Now what I did here is we cut this square in half. We made a diagonal line from one vertex to its opposite vertex, and we split that. So now we're looking at, we have this triangle. We split it into 2 triangles. We're going to pretend that works. Okay. And so I know this right here is 90 degrees. Now, originally, I know before I split it that this is 90 degrees. But when I split it in half. So what's half of 90 degrees? Because that's half of 90 degrees is going to go to this part of the angle, and the other half is right here. So this is going to have to be 45 degrees, this angle right here. And also the same works is true for up here. I know this plus this equals 90, so what half of 90 is? 45 degrees. So this too is a 45-degree angle. So kind of the same situation. This is 90. Then we have half of the 90 would be 45 degrees. Half of the 90 would be 45 degrees. So we learned earlier that a square adds up to have a sum of 360, and a triangle will add up to have a sum of 180 degrees. So you want to make sure you make that note. I'll erase it. You want to make sure you say this. You want to make sure you write the sum of the 3 triangles add up to equal 180 degrees. So using what I already know, I know that the sum of a triangle adds up to equal 180 degrees. I know angle C. I know angle C is a right angle, so this right here, this equals angle C is a 90-degree angle. So automatically I know that this is 30 degrees because it told me this is 90 degrees. So 90 plus 30 plus whatever angle A equals all adds up to have a sum of 180 degrees. So 90 plus 30 equals 120 degrees. So if I know 120 degrees plus angle A add up to have a sum of 180 degrees, angle A has to have a sum of, well, what's 180 minus 120? 60 degrees. So angle A measures 60 degrees. When you write this, make sure you put angle A. Make sure you label your letter, or else it just looks like a variable to me. And that equals 60 degrees. These are some important rules. I want you to follow along. I want you to write these, pause the video, and make sure you have all of these written down. These are rules you need to know. And we're going to go over these a little bit later. So make sure, pause the video now and write these rules down. Okay, it's going to be helpful for you if you write this down in your notes. I would draw this intersection down where we are making our angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4 through this intersection. This intersection makes 4 angles. So looking at our notes from what we know adjacent, they share a side. They share a common side. 2 angles that share a common side. Do you see any angles that are adjacent? Any adjacent angles? Well, I know one angle that's adjacent. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles because they share that common side. And the common side they share would be this side right here. So angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Also, do you see any other that are adjacent? I might make a note here. Adjacent angles. I know angles 1 and angle 2. Also, I know angle 1 and angle 4. What about angle 4 and angle 3? They're also adjacent. They share this side. Angle 1 and 4 share this side. And then we have angle 3 and angle 2. They share this side. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense about adjacent. They share one common side. 2 angles that share a common side. Another thing you want to note is that angle 1 and 2 are also supplementary angles because their sums add up to, what does it add up to? It's a straight line. Notice how angle 1 and 2 form a straight line when we combine them together. So they have 180 degrees. So they are supplementary. Another thing I want us to take notice of, angle 1 and angle 3. Do you notice how they don't share common side, angle 1 and angle 3? So that makes them vertical. So angle 1 and angle 3, they don't share a common side. They're in the same intersection, but they don't share a common side. So they are not adjacent, so they must be vertical. Do you see any other vertical angles? Let's make a note of those. So I know angles 1 and angle 3. Also, angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. Make sure you have that copied down in your notes. Make sure you have this diagram and you've kind of identified on the side the vertical angles and also your adjacent angles. Okay, so just a big review. I know that angles that add up to 90 degrees are called complementary angles. And then the complement of 45 degrees, well, 45 plus what equals 90 degrees? 45. So the complement of 45 degrees is 45 degrees. And then angles that add up to 180 degrees are called supplementary angles. So what is the supplement of 120 degrees? Well, 120 degrees plus what equals 180 degrees? So the supplement of 120 degrees has to be 60 degrees. So the supplement of 120 degrees is 60 degrees. Okay, I want you to draw this right here. Draw this in your notes. Pause the video and draw this real quick, and then you can follow along with me. So pause the video and draw it out. Okay, so let's use what we know. We have 3 angles that we're going to be solving here, and I see a lot of different strategies we can use. I know that the 3 angles of a triangle add up to a sum of 180 degrees. So in this triangle, I know that this right here is a right angle, so it's 90 degrees. So I have to find out what x is. I know 50 degrees plus 90 degrees plus whatever angle x equals adds up to equal 180 degrees. So 50 plus 90 equals 140 degrees. So 140 degrees plus what equals 180 degrees? That angle x has to be 40 degrees because for it to be a triangle, the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees. So 140 plus 40 equals 180. So I know angle x equals 40 degrees. Also, I see here, I know angle x and angle y are adjacent. They share the same side, and they're also supplementary. So I know angle x plus angle y add up to equal 180 degrees because it's a straight line. Straight lines are 180 degrees. So if angle x is 40 degrees, 40 degrees plus what will equal 180 degrees? It has to be 140 degrees, right? So I know angle y has to be 140 degrees because this is a straight line right here. So whatever angle x plus angle y, the sum of those two form a straight line when I combine them together, and that equals 180 degrees. Okay, so back at it again, I know that y, now I have to find whatever angle z is. So angle y plus angle z form a straight line. Do you guys agree? Also, angle y and angle z are adjacent. They share this line right here. I know angle z is vertical to angle x. So if I know angle y plus angle z they're supplementary, they form a straight line. So I know whatever angle y plus whatever angle z add up to equal 180 degrees because they form a straight line. So I know from previously, y is 140 degrees. Whatever angle z is, adds up to equal 180 degrees. So angle z, what plus 140 equals 180? 40 degrees. So angle z has to be 140 degrees. So you notice here that in this intersection right here, vertical angles are the same. And this one right here would have to be 140 degrees. And just a quick review, area of a parallelogram, you may want to write this down. Actually, do write this down. Area of a parallelogram is base times height. So this one right here, I have 12 times 7. So I know 12, my base is 12, times 7 equals 84. And I know, so our area for this parallelogram is 84 centimeters squared. Okay, so this one right here, I know that this dotted line is not for real. The reason why they did this is because they want you to know the height is 6 centimeters. So the area base times height, 10 times 6 would be 60 centimeters square. And the area for this, my base is 20, and my height is 10, this imaginary dotted line. So 20 times 10 is 200 centimeters square. And that's all for this lesson. Thank you.